Lewis Hamilton, Max Verstappen, George Russell, Charles Leclerc, Sergio Perez, and Lando Norris. These are the 6 drivers out of the current 20 on the Formula 1 grid who I believe are championship worthy. In this video, I will be going through them one by one. So, without further ado, let's get started. I could not make a video titled World Championship Material Drivers and not include Lewis Hamilton on this list. He is Max Verstappen's largest rival at the moment in the championship, and we still don't know who's going to come out on top. It's not like the past few seasons where it's been like a few races and then it's like, yeah, Lewis is going to win. This is a big championship fight, and Lewis is in it. And I think to challenge Max Verstappen in, let's be real here, a slower car, I think Max is going to struggle against Lewis, and I think occasionally he has been. It's going to be a very close battle, and I think that the way Lewis is, 36 now, 37, and still able to challenge him challenge someone like Max, who is 23, for podiums, wins, the championship. I think that shows how Lewis has still got it, because he is able to challenge for the title, even though he isn't the youngest driver on the grid. And I think that, I think from his entire career, even though this is based on their current form, this video, I think, based on their current form, I think Lewis is the only one of those world champions, the current world champions, to still be able to challenge for a title. Even if the others were in a championship car, I don't think they would have the ability that Lewis does. Seb, Fernando, Kimi, they'd still be good, obviously, but I don't think they'd be at Lewis's level, hence why I've put him on this list, none of the other former world champions.
Yes. Oh, nice race. Oh, well done. I think we managed that really well, guys. Super happy.
Yeah, so just like Lewis, I think we couldn't have a video titled Champion Material and not include Max here. I think he's the best driver on the grid, and as much as I didn't used to be a fan of him, I think he's maturing a lot. He's matured greatly over the past 2 seasons. And I think he will go on to do many great things. And he certainly has that championship material. I couldn't not put him on this list, obviously, because he does have a lot of champion material, and he will go on to do great things. Whether those things will be as great as Lewis, whether he will break those records, personally, I don't think he will. I don't think anyone will ever beat Lewis's records, because I'm an optimist. And hopefully we never have a period as dominant as we just have. I want to be interested in Formula 1, and I don't want to see someone absolutely dominate the sport, win every race. I want new and different winners every weekend, and I think Max will be leading us into that new stage of Formula 1 where he's not going to be dominant, but he will win world championships, I think. And I think that is going to be the way most people will win world championships from now on, not as dominant as it has been in the turbo hybrid era. So yeah, that's Max, really, isn't it? There's not much else you can say apart from he's the best on the grid, let's be honest. In current form, I think he's very close to Lewis, but I think in current form, he is the best driver on the grid.
George Russell takes the lead of the Sakir Grand Prix.
So let's talk about George Russell. George Russell was one of the drivers who... He was the start of the 4 drivers that I picked that... It was a picking, basically, because obviously I had to include Lewis and Max, because they are I think, the definition on the current grid of championship material. But yeah, so George, I think he's going to win a championship. I'm not sure how many. I'm not sure when. All I know is that I'm confident that George will win a championship at some point in his career. He's too good not to. And I think in his current form, he's not close to Lewis and Max. But we haven't seen him in equal machinery compared to Lewis and Max, so we don't know that. When he makes the jump to Mercedes, which I think he will, if you saw my 2022 driver lineup predictions, if you haven't figured it out, I did put him. I said he could be going to Mercedes next year, which I do believe. I believe that George will be going to Mercedes next year. He'll have a contract at some point, and I think when we get that, I think George will be in the title fight next year, depending on where that Mercedes is, and depending where everyone else is. I think if the Mercedes is title contending, George will be a title contender. He's not going to be a Bottas, is he? He's not going to sit by and let Lewis do all the hard work. He is going to want to win championships and races. So I think George is a championship material, and we saw that with his Sakir performance. No one can fault his Sakir performance in the Mercedes last year. The only reason he didn't get that win or a podium was because of the Mercedes pit crew. But yeah, I think he's certainly championship worthy, and I don't think anyone can disagree with that.
Charles Leclerc punches the air in delight.
Charles underrated. That's not a debate. Charles is underrated. And I think that he will win championships. And I'm not too sure why he is so underrated. Because he is. That's not a debate. He is underrated. People don't give him credit for what he's for. And sure, in 2019 his car wasn't exactly legal. But, I mean, the car wasn't exactly the fastest. Mercedes was still faster in 2019. And so he was able to challenge the Mercedes drivers I mean Lewis. And I think Charles is the most underrated driver on the grid. Not the most. He's a very underrated driver. I'd say the most underrated driver would probably be someone like Esteban Ocon. Maybe Sergio Perez. But it's... Charles is underrated, and I think one day he will shock the world by winning a championship. Because I don't think it'll be dominant. I don't think anyone will dominate like Lewis has, or Seb did, or Michael did. I don't think that's going to happen anymore. And I think that maybe people will win multiple championships, and I think most of these drivers on this list will. But will they all be in quick succession with no competition? Absolutely not. Or it's a hope, absolutely not. I hope all 6 of these drivers are involved in season-long championship battles. Imagine a Lewis, Max, George, Charles, Checo, Lando championship fight that goes to the very end. That would be absolutely amazing season. And I think that might happen. Maybe not Lewis, because I don't know how long Lewis is going to be in the sport for. Hopefully quite some time. But yeah, I think following the new regulations next year, I think F1 is going to be a lot more closer and a lot more exciting. And I think we're getting a taster of exciting F1 this season. So yeah, I think Charles is 100% championship worthy. I think he showed that in 2019 and with his couple podiums in 2020.
The man who was in last place at the end of lap 1 comes home to win the Sakir Grand Prix. Sergio Perez, wow, what a race!
Yes, Checo, P1.
If you think Charles is underrated, wait till you hear about Sergio Perez. The man is, I think, because he didn't win until Sakir, I think people sort of threw him under the bus a bit. Sort of like, yep, he's not very good, but he is. He is one of the most consistent drivers on the grid, only beaten out by a teammate twice. And I think that obviously at Red Bull that's going to change a bit, but I think he's what Red Bull needs. I think he needs someone who is going to be, he's going to be right there behind Max, and if something happens to Max, he's going to take the win. And do I think he's championship worthy? Absolutely. He has the skill to win championships. Do I think he will win a championship? Well, I doubt it. And that's a shame to say that. But unless Max goes somewhere, I can't see him winning. But he has the skill for it, I think. I think if Red Bull let him, then 100% he could win at some point. But will they? Probably not. But they probably wouldn't let him win. I think team orders would come into play at some point in that situation if it was looking like Checo would win the championship and Max wouldn't. I think if there was a chance that Max could, I think team orders would come into fruition, and the team would say, "Look, Checo, let Max by." But I think he's certainly got the performance levels to win a championship. It's just wrong place, right place at the wrong time. Maybe Red Bull is where he can win a championship. It's just, is he maybe not at the right, with the right teammate? Maybe he couldn't do that, and that's a shame. But yeah, I think Checo could very easily. He's got the skill to win a championship, but I don't think he can whilst Max is at Red Bull, and I can't see him going anywhere anytime soon. So, but hey, the rules of this isn't who is going to win a championship, is who is championship worthy, and Checo absolutely is championship worthy. Absolutely.
Lando Norris gets on the podium for the first time in Formula One.
Let's then talk about, finally, Lando Norris. I think Lando is quality top driver, and I think that one day he'll win a championship, whether that be McLaren or not. I think that one day he is 100% championship worthy. To put this in perspective, as of Baku 2021, he's the only driver to score a point in every single race. Obviously, kind of at the foot of Pirelli there, isn't it? But yeah, he's the only driver, and that shows talent, doesn't it? To be in fourth when a Mercedes driver is in sixth. I mean, to be fair, Bottas is awful, isn't he? But yeah, I think that puts it into perspective, doesn't it? I think that, yeah, Lando is a quality driver, and I don't know when he'll win a championship, but I'm confident that he will. Very confident that he will, actually. And I think Checo is the only driver I'm not confident in. Well, I'm confident in Checo, but to win a championship, it's going to be hard work, but I think he can do it. But yeah, I think that's Lando Norris. There's not really much to say. Obviously, already got 2 podiums this year. I think he's going to be improving on that number of podiums this year. I think he's going to be getting more podiums. And hey, he's already outperforming his teammate Daniel Ricciardo, who has been in the sport for a very long time. Let's just not forget that. Daniel has been in the sport for quite some time now. He's got experience. He should be above Lando, but he's not. Lando is severely underrated, just like the last 3 of them have. Yeah, that's Lando Norris. That's all I have to say about Lando, I think. Now, I can already hear and see all the comments asking me, what about this driver? What about this driver? Well, here's your answer. Is there a driver that you think that I might have missed tell me in the comments. There probably is a driver I've missed. I'd say there's 14 drivers I haven't mentioned here, and I would say only 2 of them aren't championship worthy. Or only 2 of them couldn't be considered championship worthy in a stretch. Those being Mazepin and Bottas. Yeah, but if I missed a driver that you think is championship worthy, tell me in the comments. Or you could tweet me at TobyMortimer_. Whilst you're doing tweeting and the commenting, why don't you like the video and subscribe to the channel? And if you're subscribed, I would assume you wanted to be notified when I upload. And just so that happens every time I upload, just tap that bell notification. So yeah, thank you for watching the video. This took me a while. It was also my first video like this, so hopefully you enjoy. And if you think I should make a video like this with junior drivers, tell me that as well, because I feel like that'd be pretty cool. Doing this sort of style of video, but going which of the junior drivers in any category should be in F1 or a championship worthy in F1. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I will see you all later. Goodbye.